Hello, my tech-savvy 8th graders. I want to give you a quick tutorial on how to use Excel for your fertilizer investigation. So if you haven't already created your Excel file, go to Excel and double-click on a blank workbook. Now, many of us started one on Friday. If you did, go and just open it, create your data table, and I'm going to make these cells bigger. These boxes are called cells. I'm going to make these cells bigger by hovering my cursor in between the letters and clicking and dragging, just because I like them to be a little bit bigger. And just because I want space, I'm going to start my data table right here. So I have my control group. I have my mystery fertilizer. Whoops, that's not spelled right. Mystery fertilizer. And I have my engineered fertilizer, right? Let's make this even a little bit bigger. And you should have the same. What should go on the top then? Right, trials. So trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, okay, and then what? What else are we missing? And then our average, exactly. So we've got trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and our average. I'm going to throw in my data. I'm just going to make this up, totally making this up for an example. I don't know, 5.0 and 4.6. 4.4, that's the same one. It's 4.5, 5.5, and 6.1. Okay, so here's our fake data. Now, one thing that I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but I like to bold my headings just to make them stand out from the data. Now, in the normal world, we would take our calculator and we would add these numbers up to find the average and divide them by 3, right? So we would take 3.3 plus 4.5 plus 3 equals, and we get a number, and we divide that number by 3, and that would give us our average. Well, here's the cool thing about Excel. Excel does the math for us. We just have to type in the math problem, and it does it. And this is how it works. First thing you got to do is you got to type in the equal sign. When you type in the equal sign, you're telling Excel, hey, I'm about to do a math problem, listen up. And Excel says, okay, wait, I'll listen up. What do you want me to do? Well, the next thing you have to do is you have to tell it what do you want it to do. And in this case, what do we want it to do? We want it to calculate the average. So I just type equals average, and now Excel is going to know what to do. But then Excel wants to know, okay, what do you want me to average? So I need to tell Excel what numbers I want it to average. So after I type in the word average, I open a parentheses, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey Excel, every number that I highlight, I want you to average. So I'm going to highlight, I'm going to click and drag my cursor across the values that I want to average. Then I'm going to close my parentheses. So I'm telling Excel, hey, average 3.3, 4.5, and 3. And I hit enter. Boom. That easy. And you can check it in your calculator. It's amazing. Now you can do the same for these next 2 cells, except I'm going to show you another shortcut. If I click on this box, there's this little dark box right here. If I click and I drag this down, what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, do the same thing for the second and the third row. And boom, just like that, it calculated the average. Now these 2 numbers look really funny because they're rounded to some crazy level. So what we can do is we can highlight them, and if you take a look up here, this says, hey, make the decimal place increase or make the decimal place decrease. And so I'm going to decrease the decimal place till I get to my tenths place, just like that. Okay, so now I have calculated averages. I've created my data table. Now the question is, how do I create a graph? Now in the graph, we only want to graph the averages. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to highlight our headings here. We're going to hold down the control button and highlight our averages. Okay, highlight the heading, hold control down, that's the bottom left hand corner in your keyboard, and you're going to highlight the numbers, the averages. Okay. Then you're going to go to Insert, and you're going to insert, in this case you want a column chart, a bar graph, because we're just graphing the averages. So I'm going to click bar graph. Now what kind do I want? Do I want it 3D? Do I want it 2D? You can choose. So let's say I want it to be a 3D column chart. Boom. And just like that, no rulers, no colors, no nothing. You've created your column chart. Isn't that awesome? Okay, there's just a couple more things that I need you to do. First, you need to give your chart a title, like fertilizer growth data or something like that. You also can do this. Hit the plus button, and you want to have your axis titles. Okay, you want some axis titles. So for example, what would this be? What is the y-axis on our graph? Okay, it's plant height in centimeters. And honestly, you can delete this because you've already labeled your control, your Mr. Fertilizer, engineered fertilizer. Okay, what about filling the columns with a certain color? Well, you can go to fill, you can go to solid fill. Oops, that's not what I want. Undo. Okay, click on the bars. So I'm going to change the control, say to, I don't know, orange. Double click on the bar. I'm going to change this one to, say, green, and engineered fertilizer. Let's say I keep it at blue. So now I have a beautiful graph that I've created, and it's got, I mean, it's seriously, guys, look how cool that looks. Okay, I can even make it bigger, and it's just a really nice graph. In fact, if I wanted to wanted to change the color of this, I could change this to, I don't know, blue, or maybe I want to do it green. I mean, you can. There's so many cool things you can do with the color here. Okay. Now we need to get this chart onto your website. So let me show you that next. Okay, so now we need to get our graph and our data table into a picture form so that we can insert it into our website. Now, I'm going to be honest, there's probably a better way to do this. This is kind of like, in Kenya we'd call it the fundi way. Fundi is the person who fixes your bike on the side of the road. You take your broken shoes to the fundi and he fixes them up, and they're basically a jack of all trades. And this is kind of the fundi version of putting in a graph or a table into your website. And this is the best way that I know how to do it. First of all, what I do is I open up Word. Now Word has a cool feature, and I didn't know if you knew this, that you can insert sections of your screen. So for example, let's say I was on, I don't know, ESPN.com, and I see that there. If I'm in Word and I go Insert and I go Screenshot, I can go down to this section right here and go Screen Clipping, and I can actually select a picture, and all of a sudden I've created a picture out of what was on my screen. If I wanted to save that picture, I could right click on it and I could save picture as. So it's kind of cool. It's a really neat way to save pictures if you're on your computer and you're having a hard time copying them. So that's what we're going to do for our data table and our Excel spreadsheet. First of all, actually, I want to export this data table to a Word document so it looks nice. So if you highlight everything, if you highlight your whole data table and right click and hit copy, and you go to Word and you go right click and you go paste. These are all paste options. You just select the first one or maybe the second one. It'll paste a data table in there for you. So look how nice that data table looks. If for some reason it looks like this, oops. If it looks like this for some reason, what you can do is you can highlight the whole data table, and you can go up to here, either in design or whatever, and you can go to borders, and you can say all borders. That's kind of what you want. Okay. Same thing is true for this. I can go copy, right-click copy, and then I can go to Word, and I can go paste. And now I have my beautiful table and my graph in my Word document. Alright, so now I want to put these into my my website. So here's how I'm going to make them a picture. I'm actually going to create a new Word document. File, New, Word, blank document. Okay. Come Come on, where you at? Where you at? Just hang on, it's taking a second here. Okay, I have my new Word document. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my page, go to the page where I have my old Word document, and I'm going to go to my new Word document, and I'm going to go Insert, Screenshot, and I'm going to go Screen Clipping. And it's going to send me back to this right here. And now I can just click and drag what I want to be my picture. And now this is not a table that I can edit. It's just a picture. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for my graph. Insert, Screenshot, Screen Clipping. I'm going to do the same thing for my graph. So here I go. Boom. And now I've got my graph. Cool, huh? So now they're pictures. They're not actually I can't edit them basically. But what I can do now is I can right click and I can save picture as. Say I save it. You should probably save it to your number. Fertilizer table. And I'm going to right click on my graph. Right click. Save picture as. Fertilizer graph. So now I have two pictures, and I saved them to my desktop. I would suggest that you save them to your number, but here they are. So they're picture files now. So now I go to my website, Weebly. Go to my site. I go to menu, go to fertilizer investigation. Here's my fertilizer investigation. Well, I need data, a data section. So I write data. I want it bolded and underlined, and I want it bigger. But now I want to insert my table. And so I go to the left side here and I go insert image. Insert it down here. I click on that. Upload from computer. I click on that. I find where I saved it. So in my case, I saved it to my desktop. And here it is, right here. Boom. There's my data table. Now I can make it a little bigger if I want. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for my graph. I'm going to take this image box. I'm going to drop it right here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to say upload a photo from my computer. I'm going to find my desktop. Here's my graph. Boom. How cool is that? So now I've got I have a problem here. I've got a graph. What's going on over here? And a table. Now I don't know what this is all about. I'll have to troubleshoot this, but that's the idea. Oops. Oh man, you kind of got to work it, and something's kind of acting up. But that's basically the idea. Okay, so you just save it as an image, and edit image. Yeah, let's get it bigger here. Let's get it bigger. Boom. Perfect. All right, that's that. I'm going to save, and now my fertilizer investigation is coming right along.